This comes out of section 10.2, area between curves. We're asked to find the area between y equals negative sine x and the x-axis from pi over 6 to pi over 2. So this kind of could have been in 10.2 or in 10.1, since it's just the area from a graph to the axis. Hopefully we can draw what y equals negative sine x looks like. From pi over 6 to pi over 2 is something roughly like that. So we're looking at this piece of area. Now, if you just tried doing from pi over 6 to pi over 2 negative sine x dx and find the answer to that, you're going to have cos x evaluated from pi over 2 to pi over 6. So cos of pi over 2 minus cos of pi over 6, which gives you 0 minus root 3 over 2, so negative root 3 over 2. And you might initially be confused, how did I get a negative area? When something is below the axis like this, your area will show up as being negative. So all you would have to do really here is take the absolute value of your answer, and you could say the area equals root 3 over 2 units. Another way of doing that kind of goes along, so that would be the 10.1 kind of method of doing it. In 10.2 you could say, well, I've got really two graphs here. I've got y equals 0, which is the x-axis, and I've got my sine function, and I've got the same little shaded area I was just talking about. I could set this up as the area from pi over 6 to pi over 2 of 0 minus negative sine x. And that deals with my sine problem, because I end up then with pi over 6 to pi over 2 of just sine x dx, which gives me negative cos x evaluated from there to there. And when you do that, you get a very similar numbers what you had before, except you have negative cos pi over 2 minus negative cos pi over 6, and you get right away the answer that is root 3 over 2. You don't have to absolute value that answer, because you've said the upper function minus the lower function, which fits this example nicely. So you have a choice. If you're doing just a single function that's below the x-axis to the x-axis, you either just absolute value your number when you do that definite integral, or you just do 0 minus it, and either way you take care of that negative sign.